From the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
After years of back and forth battles, a decision could finally be made today on the future of short-term rentals in San Diego.
Expect a small drop in temperatures today, but an increase in humidity. I'm tracking the tropical weather and where and when we may see thunderstorms.
A South Bay business owner accused of sexually harassing female employees is now facing a class action lawsuit.
Soccer's biggest extravaganza kicks off today, the 2018 FIFA World Cup. I just like to say extravaganza.
I like saying FIFA. Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining us on this Friday Eve. I'm Virginia Cha.
I'm Jason Martinez. The sun's shining, the humidity's starting to kind of glare out there. Megan, what's up with that?
It's going to be pretty sticky today and tomorrow. We're tracking tropical storm buds still well to the south of us, but you can see these bands starting to move closer to Southern California. That humidity and those clouds will be building north through the day today. In fact, I am watching these two clumps of clouds that are bringing a few lightning strikes just off Baja's coast. If they hold together, we could see some thunderstorms potentially all the way to our coastline. So of course, we're going to be watching that one very closely. The best chance for any thunderstorms today or tomorrow is going to be near the mountains and the deserts. I'm going to have more for that on that coming up in about 10 minutes or so. In Fallbrook, though, I have to let you know before you head out, visibility is down to about 0.3 of a mile. There may be some pockets of fog where visibility is down to about 4 to 5 miles, but other areas are looking pretty good. Your 10-hour day planner gets us into the 70s this afternoon at the coast, 80s for our inland neighborhoods with those tropical clouds building this afternoon. And Cletus, keeping an eye on the roads this morning. How's it going out there?
So we are seeing some traffic building around San Diego. So if you usually start to take the 52 in the morning, then you're going to see this traffic. This is on the 52 heading westbound, speeds down to about 22 miles per hour. It's right around the 125 through the Santee area. It does pick up though once you get past this, and you're pretty much clear toward the 5. 23-minute commute on the 8 westbound. That's out of El Cajon over to the 15 as well. And then out of the South Bay, lots of traffic here. 13-minute commute 805 northbound between National City heading through North Park toward the 8 and the 5 freeway, also slowing down to about 16 minutes to the same stretch heading out of the South Bay to about the 94. Lots of traffic still heading into Coronado. Your speed's down to about 14 miles per hour. Heavy backup 10-minute commute coming off the 5. Virginia?
Thank you so much, Kalina. Happening today, Mayor Kevin Faulconer will be outlining his proposal to regulate short-term rentals in the city.
Some San Diegans say the rentals hurt neighborhoods and the housing market. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live in Mission Beach. And Mimi, the mayor's been working to find a solution for years.
Yeah, he has, Jason, Virginia, and his goal is to reach a solution that would allow the home sharing community to grow while also protecting the quality of life in San Diego neighborhoods. Now, this has been a controversial issue for years now. The city council has heard from people on both sides of the debate over and over again, but have failed to come up with a solution all can agree on. The mayor's new proposal would establish some very clear rules. Under that proposal, this would be the city's first permit-based system to manage the short-term rentals. It'll charge cost recoverable fees to administer permits and enforce code violations as well as establish a good neighbor policy. And in addition to that, the city would actually hire extra staff to respond to any complaints and implement a per night fee that would go to create revenue for affordable housing projects in the future. Now, the mayor will hold a media briefing to publicly outline this proposal today at around 10 this morning, and then the city council will consider this issue on July 16th. We're live in Mission Beach this morning. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. And new from overnight, firefighters quickly putting out a fire at an industrial complex in Chula Vista before it spreads to any other businesses. The fire broke out about 9:30 on Main Street. It started on the ceiling of one of the businesses, and that's when someone heard a fire alarm and called 911. Firefighters got the fire out. 2 of the businesses did have smoke damage. Investigators are looking into the cause. Nobody was injured.
A South Bay business owner accused of sexually harassing female employees. 10 News anchor Jim Patton live in National City. Jim, those accusations now in a class action lawsuit.
Virginia, they certainly are, and they are against the owner of this store here in National City. He also owns another one in Chula Vista. The complaint, 12 pages right here, alleges that he repeatedly harassed his female employees going back to 2013.
At one point, the store manager asked if one of the women would go on a date with him. So it really becomes this really sexually saturated work environment, I believe.
That's Christopher Green, director of the local office of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. He says in addition to inappropriate comments, Rivera, who is in his 50s, would wrap his arms around the women and even tried to get a kiss. The complaint says he was careful to do this out of sight of his wife or cameras, and the behavior increased over time. The women named in the complaint were in their late teens and early 20s when this began and were eventually forced to quit to get away from the harassment. Now, the lawsuit does not say how much is being sought, but the EEOC says they will certainly seek compensation for lost wages because the women had to quit their jobs, and also compensatory damages for the distress they've been through. We've reached out to the owner of the business and have yet to hear back. And not only is his store being sued and he's being sued, but the parent company is being sued. And in the next half hour, we'll talk more about why that is the case. Reporting live in National City, Jim Patton, 10 News.
Thank you, Jim. We are continuing to get more clarity about President Trump's deal with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Fox News reporting as soon as today the Pentagon could make good on one of Trump's promises and cancel an upcoming military exercise with South Korea. Meantime, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is explaining some things the administration will not budge on. North Korean state media has suggested step-by-step denuclearization that would get them some sanction relief along the way.
Sanctions relief cannot take place until such time as we have demonstrated that North Korea has been completely denuclearized.
Trump and Kim Jong-un's agreement did not specify when or how the North would denuclearize, and also did not say how that would be verified. Trump told Fox News verification is necessary for this deal to work, and he's confident it'll happen.
6:06 investigators are searching for an inmate firefighter who disappeared from a fire camp in Boulevard. The San Diego Union Tribune reports 21-year-old Marco Calderon was last seen Tuesday at McCain Valley Conservation Camp. He was serving a 5-year sentence for second-degree robbery. He's been in state custody since September, moved to that fire camp last month. Anyone who sees him, please take a close look now, is asked to call 911.
Police are searching for the man who caused a school lockdown yesterday. They surrounded a house a block away from Marshall Elementary School in Chollas Creek. This happened right as school was letting students out for the day. Officers were responding to a family disturbance call. It's believed the man inside the house had a gun, a child, and possibly another woman with him. The possibility that he was armed is what forced the school to lock down, terrifying parents and their children.
At this point, with everything going on with the school shooting, it wasn't a good thought.
Like really scary, because I thought like, no, they're gonna get us. But we finally got released.
When officers finally entered the home, the suspect wasn't there. He's now wanted for questioning. So here's something you don't hear a lot of people say these days, that the homeless situation is getting better in San Diego. But some say a combination of storage facility opening yesterday in Sherman Heights to give the homeless a place to leave their belongings and other measures are making a difference.
Yeah, in fact, one resident is pointing to those other efforts as helping. So take a look. This is what 17th Street downtown looked like in September, and this is what it looks like now.
Now it's clean, there's no debris, there's no garbage, everyone is moved.
Crystal Rigersberg says things were out of control last year, but since the city opened 3 bridge shelters, she says she has seen a huge improvement, and that's despite a report by the county's Housing Commission that says not as many people as hoped transitioned from those shelters to permanent housing. The city is now getting third-party analysis to try to get the shelters to help more people.
All right, as part of our Making It in San Diego initiative, from this newscast yesterday through last night at 11 o'clock, we told you about SDG&E's proposal to raise your electric rates.
We spent extra time on this story because we know how important it is to make every cent count so you can make it in our great city. But that conversation raised a common theme that many of you told us about. For example, like Amanda saying, quote, get another electric company in San Diego. It's a monopoly, and that the company is just raising money and squeezing us out. We hear you, and that's why we want you to know why you only have SDG&E as a choice. Now, the Sherman Act of 1890 is the basis of avoiding monopolies, but some industries like utilities are allowed to have regional monopolies because the infrastructure, including power lines, costs so much to build a second line. But that means the company is heavily watched, regulated by the government, and why you have the right to voice your opinion at open forums. More are coming on this issue in the coming weeks in Escondido, in Chula Vista. Continue to talk with us as we find ways to make living in San Diego easier. Email us at tips@10news.com, or you can message us facebook.com/ABC10news.
The biggest soccer tournament in the world kicks off today in Russia. 32 teams will compete for the title of champion of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. First game is Russia versus Saudi Arabia, starting at 8 this morning our time. There is no U.S. competing this year after the team failed to qualify for the first time in nearly 30 years. But Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. will host the FIFA World Cup in 8 years, so we have that to look forward to. Plus, there's another one in 4 years. So if you want to watch any World Cup games at some specialty places, you can go to House of Panama, for example, hosting country-specific watch parties. Soccer City SD throwing a party for the final game.
It's going to be good. It always is. And you know what? 2026 will be here in no time.
In no time.
And you know we can always count on the girls. Yeah,
that's right.
The women's team's always going to be there. All right, let's show you our hour-by-hour forecast. Yes, our temperature is going to the 80s for our inland neighborhoods, but take a look at the icons on the bottom of the screen. We'll see the marine layer clouds clearing through the morning, and then those tropical clouds move in the afternoon. So we are going to see a lot more clouds through the day today. That goes for the San Diego County Fair as well. If you're headed out there today, about 70 degrees this afternoon, but still wear that sunscreen despite the clouds. And the Bare Naked Ladies performing at 7:30, about 66 degrees then. Low to mid 70s for most of our coastal areas, 80s for the inland neighborhoods, 88 in Escondido. I am actually forecasting 90 degrees in Ramona. Some of the cooler spots in La Jolla and Mission Beach will be in the 60s today. I'm going to be tracking Tropical Storm Bud and the impacts we're going to feel here to end the week in about 8 minutes. Kalina, how is it going on the roadways?
We're seeing lots of traffic building right now, and on the 5 freeway through our Caltrans camera right at East Street, you can see bumper to bumper delays. Now, we are getting reports of a couple problems along the 5 freeway out of the South Bay. I'm checking on all of those. Possibly a stalled car, possibly a brush fire out on the shoulder in one of the areas as well. So again, checking on all that, but right now you're dealing with this traffic here, so keep that in mind as you head out the door. 10 News Live Traffic Tracker takes us out to North County. 5 freeway heading southbound right at Manchester is where you're starting to slow down. Speeds here down to about 48 miles per hour. Overall, though, not too bad of a drive out of the North County area, out of Oceanside. Heavy ride on the 805, the 5 and heading into Coronado. I'll have your drive times there coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Kalina. A bold stealing spree. A man using a cart to swipe stuff from the front porches of San Diego homes.
No shame there. Plus, how Apple is now changing its software to stop police from getting into locked devices.
Hawaii's volcano spurting out lava, and gemstones. The science behind the mid-air magic.